What you want to know. What you need to know. Talk 1470. WNN.
Everglades Angels Dog Rescue is dedicated to saving dogs abandoned in the Everglades. The urgency of reaching out to the community for financial contributions and dog adoption have greatly increased. Join us on Sunday, February 18th from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. at Anthony's Cold Fire Pizza, 115 Northeast 6th Avenue in Delray Beach, for a Give Back Sunday. 20% of all dine-in and carry-out will be donated back by mention of this promo. For more information or to make a donation, contact Everglades Angels Dog Rescue at 800-511-DOGS or evergladesangelsdogrescue.org.
Does your child learn best when they see and experience information? Is your child smarter than indicated by test results? 3D Learner is an integrated learning program that helps identify your child's strengths and challenges. 3D Learner's individualized program for academic and athletic success will significantly improve reading comprehension, test scores, and self-esteem. Contact 3D Learner today for more information. Call 561-361-7495 to unlock your child's true potential. Visit us at 3dlearner.com or call 561-361-7495.
In a perfectly imperfect world, you can eat the foods you love, lose weight, and be healthy. But what if I told you you can do just that? In fact, your diet should be perfectly imperfect by eating the foods you love and still achieving your health and wellness goals. I take the guesswork out of nutrition by giving you my simple and effective strategies so that you can live the healthy and happy life you will love using real food to get real results. Schedule your nutrition consultation today at 888-84-TAMI or visit my website, TammyFogarty.com. Don't delay, get healthy today. 888-84-TAMI.
The host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Well, it's 1 o'clock and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. The team is ready to serve you a huge portion of fun for lunch. So let's break open the lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought, take a seat in the Brooklyn Cafe, and get ready to enjoy the humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of feel-good and happy soup to help your day go by easier and enjoy your break with others around you. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddy S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or dream making. It's the feel-good food you need to help that bagel go down nice and smoothly. If you have a story to share, anything that happened at work or play, a movie review, a restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll-free 888-565-1470 right now. So sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe and let Dawn and Freddy S. get your happy juices flowing.
Welcome. Where's my camera? Over there. Welcome to all our friends in South Florida, Atlanta, New York City, Boston, Chicago, LA.
San Francisco.
We haven't done that yet.
And?
Houston.
Houston's
next.
Houston is next.
Welcome to all our friends. What a weekend. Did you have a good time?
How was your weekend?
Fantastico.
Was it?
Yes, I got to see a play. First time in Florida. I used to go every Saturday night in New York.
To the movies.
I went to Florida. I went to a play.
Where'd you go see?
I went to go see, you know what I went to go see?
What?
I can't remember the name of it. But would it come back to me?
Where'd you go see it?
At the Kravitz Center.
Cabaret.
That's the one.
Cabaret is playing at the Kravitz. Did you like it? It's supposed to be fantastic.
It is fantastico. Now, I got to tell you, I got to sit up on the top because it was like sold out at the bottom. Mm-hmm. So there's a segment in there where he says, now it's time to be entertaining with the guests, with the people.
Oh, no.
Yes.
No.
And this guy's a French guy, and he's with the cigarette tea, and he goes, hello, all my poor friends.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell me they brought you up on stage.
No, I wanted to. So he dances with a woman, because he's like bisexual. This whole thing is kind of crazy. And he says, now I want to dance with a man. And all the men are like cringing.
Did you raise your hand?
I'm like, yo, homie! I'm whistling because I would have grabbed this guy and flung him around.
Wait, I'm backing up. You're really scaring me.
Yeah. So no, I didn't get selected. He picked one guy. The guy went crazy on him, so he had to dance with another woman. But
was it good? Yeah. You enjoyed yourself?
I had a blast. We went to eat at a place in up there, north.
City Place?
I can't name the place. No, it wasn't City. But we stayed away from City Place. But it was this restaurant. It's brand new. The guy loved me. We're gonna go back and try to do something with him. He was a really nice guy. Real nice guy. But it was great. I had a great time.
Good. You know what I did?
I'm afraid to ask.
Nothing. Ordered an Uber Eats and watched a movie.
You order from Uber Eats?
Yes.
How does that work?
It is when it works, and actually it always has worked. The only problem is when they try to get through my gate, but when they get through the gate, it's a beautiful thing.
But wait a minute. Uber Eats, you had a restaurant, right, that you ordered?
You go on your app, which makes it really easy. You order your food.
From a restaurant?
Yes, from a restaurant.
You don't order from Uber Eats?
No, you order from Uber Eats.
Oh, Uber Eats makes the food?
Uber Eats goes to the restaurant. Somehow they've got this great program. You go to the Uber Eats app, you pick a restaurant you want, you order your food, you submit it. Next thing you know, you can track the driver. They pick it up, how close they are to your house. We rented a movie.
Where'd you order from? I'm going to ask you for the 9th time.
A Japanese restaurant in West Boca.
Ah, and they pick it up and bring it?
Yes.
Oh, was he Japanese, the Uber guy?
It was good. No. Oh, my gosh. That's a whole nother question I will share with one of our guests. That was another issue my son had in law school, was over Japanese versus the Germans when they had this whole ethical conversation. But that's a whole nother conversation for off air. And then last night, I watched TV and I fell asleep with a cup of coffee in my lap. You know what happened?
No.
Oh, I didn't get burned. Next thing I knew, everything was wet. My blanket was wet. My shorts were wet. The couch was wet. I must have fallen asleep and spilled the coffee in my lap. My husband fell asleep on the other couch. He wakes up because of what happened to the couch.
So you wet the couch and your coffee?
Yes, you wet the couch. I'm like, yeah, I spilled my coffee. It was everywhere. Everything was covered in coffee.
Great weekend.
That was it. My very uneventful week. But I did go to the Delray Beach Art Fair, and I went to Subculture yesterday. There was an art fair at Old School Square. It was a juried art fair, which was really nice. They have some really great pieces. And then across the street, it's Subculture. Do you remember we had Alex and Michelle on from Subculture, who was Dope?
She was dope.
She was dope.
Yeah,
Director of private events, Dope, for a Subculture group. So I went over to Subculture. What a great coffee shop. It'll be fantastic.
It's nice to know that I've been going to the wrong coffee shop, but thank you very much.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Thank you very much.
The name is called Subculture.
Anyway, we move on.
We won't ask you want.
When we went to the Kravis Center, there was wine, and I decided to use the famous app, the Vitalizer app, which I want to do a very quick demonstration.
Okay.
And I try to explain to people how the Vitalizer app works, which uses megahertz and light, and it brings it to 520, and it changes the taste of wines and liquors and waters.
So this is the Vitalizer app. Vitalizer app, you can go on your cell phone, whether it be iPhone or any cell phone carrier. It doesn't have to be the iPhone. It's called Vitalizer app. You can download it. And we're going to do a little taste test for everybody.
Yes.
All right,
separate
here are the lemons. There were 3 lemons. We're going to show everyone. They saw that I cut them on air, and they go, oh, it's like a real cafe. We're going to have tea time.
And this is real lemons.
Real lemons. They were cut. I'm going to put half of them. I feel like I'm doing a magic trick. I'm going to put half of them.
I want to buy a vowel.
In here, and I go like this.
Wait a minute. I want to cover these because I don't want you to accidentally.
Yes, they have to stay away.
Vitalize them. And yes, they are not in a glass container, but that's okay for this experiment anyway.
That is okay for this experiment.
Now, well, she's going to vitalize this thing. I tried to explain to people how it works. And it's funny because at the Kravis Center, there must be 4,000 to 5,000 people. I mean, I saw the parking spots. It was 4,000 or 5,000.
Did you vitalize everybody?
So I was trying to vitalize a lemon. So I asked the lady, can you give me a lemon? And I'm sitting there, I'm doing my thing. And people are walking up to me, sir, what are you doing? I says, I'm vitalizing my lemon. Come on, I'm doing this to store. You got to do that. Right. Look at me.
Tea, water, coffee. I say coffee, tea, water, or me, which is tea, but you can pick water. We're going to do a lemon because everything is made from lemon. So you hear the megahertz? It's very simple. We just go like this. And it changes the molecular structure. You can do it on water, wine, food. Sushi is delicious. Yes, I did do it on my sushi the other night when I ordered from the Japanese restaurant on Uber Eats. It tastes so much better. So we're going to do this. It takes a minute. You just watch the line go up. It's 520 megahertz is the sound, and it works with light and sound vibration. This would be really good for our Mental Health Monday, by the way. Can you imagine if everyone downloads this and they can get calmer? They just stay in their quiet space. They listen to the silence. Not that this is silent.
Well, the funny thing is that we got professionals here, so we're going to get their opinion about this app. But when I was doing it at the Kravis Center, at the Kravitz Center,
There are no professionals
you
involved.
you have a professional of a lot of things there, and people were beginning to like line up and saying to me, "What are you doing?
Okay.
What's going on?"
All right, so you saw the lemon.
All right, so let them
Going
taste
to
that.
taste the lemon. Everyone
take a
taste the
piece.
lemon.
Don't worry, Doc. It's okay. I know you don't
Helen
like
looks a
lemon.
little nervous. Dr. Pearl,
Switch
she's
it.
going to try it. She's
Yeah.
picking the right piece.
Yeah, taste that.
So that lemon has been vitalized. Cheers. Have a lemon. We're big spenders on this show.
I know.
Compliments of Ellie's Diner, the lemon.
Okay. All right, taste that. Now put that back on the plate. Let's get that out of your way.
Okay, so you had the vitalized lemon first.
All right, now try.
Now you're going to try the lemon
regular
that is
lemon.
unvitalized. Would you like a napkin? We have everything.
We have everything.
We're very prepared at this cafe.
That's why we only have 2 napkins for 3 guests, but we're good to go.
I got more in the other room.
Now taste the lemon and tell me if you notice the difference.
I have to cleanse my palate.
We need from like
Let's give her a
sorbet.
glass of wine.
There you go.
You see the difference?
Notice the difference.
Did you hear the bell go off as soon as she said that?
You see the difference?
Definitely.
Now, when you do this with 4,000 people, there wasn't enough for lemons to go around. People say that was what they
So
said.
what did you think? What was
That's
the difference?
bizarre.
Isn't it bizarre?
The other lemon, the first lemon.
Get
was
closer to your mic.
sweeter.
Sweeter.
It was sweeter.
It was vitalized. These flowers have been here for 3 weeks.
What? They were vitalized?
They were vitalized.
Cut it out.
The first lemon was vitalized. It was sweeter, not as tart, right? And so you know it came from exactly the same lemon. And you can do it to your body. You go counterclockwise, which for me is always backwards because you do it to yourself. Counterclockwise on your body. It helps with strength. It helps with athletes. It changes the molecular structure of food, and it gives you more, I can't say energy because it's not an energizer, it's a vitalizer, but it does help pick up your mood.
The amazing thing about all of this is that, and you guys are professionals, right? There's no hanky-panky. You saw us bring the lemons, the same lemon, she cut it up. And it changes the structure of the juice. Same thing with waters and wines, the human body. It changes it and makes it the way it's supposed to taste. So that just goes to show you that the lemon that you taste the second time is not its natural state. You know how they say organic lemons and all that? No.
It takes
The
it
first
back
one
to
is.
when it was first picked,
Yeah.
instantaneously when it was first picked, before everything is sat on the shelves, it sat on the truck, whatever it did, all the movement. Did you know what Wednesday we've got Dawn Cliff, the wine chick, coming?
We're going to do this
Gonna
all.
vitalize some
no,
wine
we're
for
gonna do this all
Valentine's
week.
Day.
We're
All
going to do
week?
this all week. Yes, we're
You
going to
can download the
vitalize.
Vitalizer app on your phone, Vitalizer app. You'll see the spot run on all of our commercials. Check it out. It is so well worth it. Reed, we got to get you vitalized. He might say 3 words at once. We took our interns to breakfast after a great meeting today, so thank you, Ellie's, for the lemons.
Listen, and if you use the Vitalizer, we're going to do the Vitalizer chat. We want you to call in between the 1 to 1:15 segment and tell us what you used it on and if it made a difference. And if it didn't, it's okay. It's
But
going
you
to.
tasted the difference,
We tasted different.
and it works. Do you
Right.
remember what happened with me? So when
Yes.
people say, does it work, it works.
Yes.
It works.
You got to be careful not to use it if you're sick and things like that because it sort of
But
brings
it
out.
helps with migraines. It is said to be helped with migraines. It helps with mood. It helps with anxiety. It helps with a lot of things. And if you want the science, I can get you the science. Don't ask me for the science. But it all starts with love and intent. And that is the most beautiful thing of the Vitalizer app. When Dr. Carlos was on and we talked about it, it starts with that pinpoint of love and intent. And when that cone goes out, and the energy shield goes up, it's like surrounding yourself with an energy force. We even had a thermography scan of people before they did the Vitalizer app and afterwards. And afterwards, you could see the color rainbow of the scan from the thermography. It was fascinating.
Well, John sent me a film, which John we're going to play tomorrow because I don't want to shoot all my bullets at once. I thought that lemon thing
That's
was
a
kind
good
of
thing.
impressive. But there's a film that shows how it changes the bloodstream.
Really?
Yes, and tune in tomorrow for that.
Vitalizer app, you can find it on your cell phone, all cell phone devices. Shall we
What's
tell
the-
everyone where they can find us?
No. How do you get the Vitalizer app again?
You can find it on your phone.
Yeah. What's
in
the
your phone,
website?
In your phone, vitalizerapp.com. Or go to your store, whether your iPhone store, wherever you have your Samsung Galaxy, the stores where you get your apps, Vitalizer app, and you can find it. Coffee, tea, water, or me.
Coffee,
Chi.
tea, computer.
Coffee, tea, water, or tea.
Yeah, I mean.
You can find us on Facebook and Periscope at the Brooklyn Cafe TV, 95.3 FM, 1470 AM. Give us a call. Joe's been a little quiet all weekend. Ready, Joe? 888-565-1470. And let us know about the Vitalizer app. I know Bitsy from Bitsy Bottoms. I know Handcuff Jamie. So many people are loving the Vitalizer app.
Tell your friends. We need some friends.
You need some friends?
Listen, I'm a little
There's
upset
nothing
before we
left.
get
I
to
gotta
our
get
guests.
more.
I'm a little upset because my Dr. No bar that was given to the diabetic who can't have chocolate, this lasted 3.5 seconds.
I ate it. I shared it, though.
You shared it.
I shared
No,
it. I
and
did
you know
share
what she
with our
does?
guests.
You know what she does? She leaves me a little snicker, like a little beep. Like she says, "Here, I saved you some. Save me some."
It was like we finally had one square left, and then someone else wanted a piece. I think Pam Polani wanted a piece, so we gave
Capilani ate half the bar.
She liked it.
She loved it. But the funny thing is, there was nothing left. Johnny, did you get any of this, Johnny?
I do. It's delicious.
Oh, thank you, Johnny. Thank you for helping out. Way to go. Way to go.
Speaking of Pam Polani, next Friday, February 23rd, is the Brain Bowl at Boca West Country Club. You can buy tickets for the event. There are only 824 people in attendance. So let's get them up to an even 900, make it even more difficult for us to cover that event. It's going to be a great event.
It is the event of the year, I'm
Three amazing mental health agencies that all help combat Alzheimer's disease coming together in one place. Dick Schmidt is one of the keynotes. There'll be entertainment. It'll be fantastic. They're up to 822. And after we move some of the places around, we can squeeze in a few more tables. I'm not quite sure 900, but you can check out the website on Facebook. You can buy it on Eventbrite, Brain Bowl. So the
Eventbrite Brain Bowl. I can't even say that. In Latino, I can't say none of that. It's too much B's.
And today we kick off Mental Health Monday part. I don't even know what segment we're up to.
Part 3.
Three?
Part 3.
I think we're on 3, and I love and all the graphics that we've been hosting. Your daily dose of hope and kindness. Sarah created that for us over the weekend.
You know, it's really interesting how this segment has taken a life of its own because who was it that was here on Thursday? Valerie? I'm very bad with names. Vivian. Something with a V. I got close.
Vivian.
I got close. She was here, and we got into a 15-minute discussion that lasted 2 hours.
With Casamana Bliss.
With Casamana Bliss. But it was amazing how everybody talks about the segment and the awareness, and people are becoming more courageous about it's okay to talk about it.
She's actually one of the partners and creators of the Chrysalis Center. And
you know how that works.
Which we didn't know that's what she did. We knew her as an attorney who also created Casamana Bliss across the street, which is a whole yoga, I can't say mental health, but a whole feel-good environment. There'll be yoga, there'll be meditation. I didn't know that she was creator of Casamana Bliss, no, of Chrysalis.
Of Chrysalis. But she also has a few companies. She has like
and she's an attorney, so she sounds like you a little bit, Helen. Hands in a few little pots, but you know what? It all comes together.
We just knocked the camera out.
Oh, is that what happened? He's a little busy.
Yeah. Something happened. Something's on fire.
So today we've got Sarah Finkelstein-Wolf with us, and she brought 2 lovely guests. We have Dr. Nicole Pearl with us and Helen Trainer with NAMI with us. Do I pronounce NAMI right? NAMI?
Yep, it's perfect.
Is it NAMI or NAMI?
Both ways. Any way it comes. So long as you say it.
There you go.
And who do we have in our studio
audience? And we've got Dad with us. We got Jesse in the house.
Dad, say hello.
Thank you very much for having me.
My God, you can tell he's on radio over here. I got to speak. How you doing? How's it going?
I think what you're doing is very commendable, by the way.
Yes.
Freddie and Dawn have done this community a great service by taking something that no one wants to talk about, but everyone is touched by, and brought it to everyone's attention because of the listeners. If there isn't a problem in your immediate family, you know someone who has a problem related to mental illness. There's so much shame and there's so much that's hidden about it, and so many people, the patients and their families, suffer. And I can't say enough good about what you're doing to bring this to the public's attention.
Well, thank you. It is truly our privilege to do it, and the more we do it, Johnny says he missed last Monday, so he was very excited that Sarah's back today to be part of this Monday.
Because this affects all ages. Yes, Johnny, affects everybody.
Yep.
Young, old, millennials, as well as Generation X.
Because even if you talk about a child, and I know some of you work with kids, a child who has anxieties or depression or panic attacks, all of that falls into this realm of mental illness. And it sounds such like a bad term when you call it mental illness, but it's just something that we all have. It's like we say all the time, you can have a stomachache, a sore throat, you can also suffer from anxiety, you can suffer from depression, you can suffer from panic attacks, which leads to physical ailments. I mean, all of it, you can't take one without the other. And I know this firsthand because, yes, I am the mother of 2 grown children, so we've all had something. Sunday night scaries, my daughter calls them now. And she's a teacher. Now she's actually named them Sunday night scaries.
You okay, Reed?
Man, a few words he is. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to get into our Mental Health Monday. 188, what's our number again?
188-565, no.
888-565-1470.
You got me doing
And as
it.
Dan says, 888-LOL-1470. And we'll be right back.
Want to make your smartphone brilliant? One tap creates a virtual wine fine tuner. Another, a coffee refiner. A beauty cream and makeup enhancer.
Wow. Look at your eye.
What a difference.
And with still just a tap, a strength and flexibility harmonizer.
Yeah, I definitely felt something different.
This is the Vitalizer. In the App Store on any smartphone, a simple download that will embed specific frequencies and vibrations into your phone's light photons and sound waves. Calibrations designed to affect taste.
Vitalizer one is better than the other one, for sure.
Hydration, absorption,
feel silkier,
and perhaps most incredibly, your strength, flexibility, and energy. Amazing.
Wow.
crazy.
Well, salud. I'm loving it. Go to www.vitalizerapp.com and make your smartphone brilliant. www.vitalizerapp.com and make your smartphone brilliant.
Hey, I'm Doris Vilk. When life keeps you crazy, the job, the kids, a husband, how do you escape? Fantasize about romantic evenings? Follow the exploits of Hollywood actress Susan Chatham in my erotic novels, Love Arrested and Love Attempted, and revel in Susan's steamy love life. There's lust, passion, and betrayal. But what doesn't kill her makes her insatiable. Buy the ebooks or paperbacks at Amazon. Visit me at dorisvilk.com. That's V as in vibrant. Prepare to be aroused.
What is Debersize? With over 25 years of personal training experience and workout techniques, Deb Varsalone invites you to Debersize. Debersize comes to you from the privacy of your own home or group training facility. Debersize can meet your individual fitness needs, offering one-on-one, non-impact resistance training, post-surgical strengthening to higher-level boot camp and weight training. Debersize will meet your personal fitness goals at any age. Contact Deb at 561-307-9283. Schedule an initial consultation and get ready for a stronger, healthier you. 561-307-9283. Welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe, where every day is a new adventure. If you'd like to join Don and Freddy S. at the cafe, give them a call at 888-565-1470 toll-free. Come on in or call to share a thought for the day and get all the information you need to help your business grow. That's 888-565-1470. Let's reopen the cafe doors. Now, back to Don and Freddy S.
Join Don and Freddy weekdays at 1 at the Brooklyn Cafe for all your fun.
And we're back on a Mental Health Monday at the Brooklyn Cafe TV. You can find us on Facebook and Periscope at the Brooklyn Cafe TV, 95.3 FM, 1470 AM. Give us a call, 888-565-1470. We've got Sarah Wolf-Finkelstein with us. And yes, we just did the Vitalizer app. So John Wellman, if you missed our demonstration, ladies, tell us about the lemon test. Not your lemon test, Freddie, the lemon test we did on set.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
It was quite remarkable. The lemon went right from being very tart and not too tasty to being sweet and soft.
So you can
and delicious.
Download the Vitalizer app on any of your smartphones, Vitalizer app, or go to vitalizerapp.com. And we were talking, we've got Helen Trainer with us from NAMI. We've got Dr. Nicole Pearl with us, who is a local psychiatrist. And, of course, the lovely Vanna White. No, the lovely Sarah Finkelstein-Wolf with us, who I think has spearheaded this entire program that we're doing on Mental Health Mondays. And what I found fascinating is that Dr. Pearl was saying she does so much with yoga and mindfulness that she can really see how the app in her psychiatric practice can help. And why do you think that?
I think it's something you just said a minute ago, Dawn. I think that the idea is that you had an intention. You said, you You start with, I think, with other examples, sometimes love or just a very, happy, good thought, and you sort of put that onto the object that you're trying to transform. And I think, you sort of take that into where a lot of people have their struggles in life. They have a challenging day, they're, in the midst of something that they feel they have no control over, and they say, you know what, but I do have control over my thoughts. How can I take this day that's overwhelming for me and transform it, And you start with mindfulness. You start with getting in touch with your breathing, yoga. It's all about connection to yourself. And
you know what? I'm laughing to myself. It's all about connection to yourself. Do you know when we start new shows and I sit with people in studio, I'm like their whoopee? Or people hold a blanket, or kids hold a stuffed animal.
I never quite saw you as a whoopee, but okay.
That's what Leslie, your coach, used to call me, was her whoopee. When I'd sit with her and on the set, she'd call me her whoopee, just to know that she had that connection and there was something physically tangible. But I'm thinking that the Vitalizer app can be like that, something physically tangible. So when you want to connect or ground your feet, you can actually turn on the music, and it's just a minute of mindfulness. You can take a minute of mindfulness and light frequency and set the intent, as you said, and no matter what is going on in your day, if you don't have a blanket, you don't have something to hold, you're actually changing the vibration of energy and sound and light and mindfulness. And you can sit for a minute, just a minute, and regroup.
What I was alluding to before is breathing is a very important aspect. I've noticed that because in my family there was a lot of people that needed help. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. And their breathing is not normal. They sort of, it's choppy. They don't breathe correctly. They don't inhale deeply, not enough oxygen. A lot of that plays into some of the things that we're about to talk about, yes?
Absolutely. I mean, that, speaks to something like panic disorder, general anxiety disorders. Okay. We're not aware often of the physiological process that's happening because of our mental state. So if you can slow down your breathing, that's why, in addition to taking medication, it's so important to get ahead of it by saying, wow, I'm stressing out, I'm feeling like I'm going to start to go into a panic attack. What can I do to slow myself down? And that starts from the breath work and just being aware, having awareness.
Do you work with that?
I try to more and more.
With your patients?
It's interesting. A lot of times you'll have a patient, they walk in the door and you can tell they want that prescription. They just want the prescription and they don't want to do the work. They're not my favorite patients because I think that, the medication has its place, but you also have to do the work. And what I mean by that is doing the breath work, getting a handle on a sense of yourself and awareness. And so, I try to do it as much as I can. And then I practice a certain way, definitely more holistically than I think a lot of psychiatrists today. But I think it's so important to make your patient or your client feel like they're in control. It's not just about taking a medication, but what can I do for myself?
There's a professional football team, I'm not going to leave the name out, that actually the first thing they do with their players is they teach them how to breathe because professional football is so stressful.
Right.
And they are very successful, and that should be the hint of who they are. And they actually, when you go into camp, they teach you how to handle breathing stress because you're in stadium, it's a high level of intensity going on. And I also notice that kids go to school. Your son, Johnny, my kids, when you go to school, you get that anxiety. All of a sudden, you blank out. I was the worst test taker in the history of mankind.
Do you know that it's just so enormous? Now you opened up like Pandora's box for me, and now it gets even scarier.
Now Pandora is out of the room.
Now Pandora's out of the box.
Smokes.
Because we're talking about mental illness, and I don't even like that term because it makes it sound like it's an illness. It's not
mental health.
It's mental health, right? It is not. It's a state of mind. It clearly is a state of mind, whether it's the Sunday scaries and your child's afraid to go to school, or a Sunday night when you're afraid to go back to work, you're not even a child, and you just have this anxiety about it. And somehow everything just spirals down. You stub your toe. You're doing the dishes. Something falls. A dog gets out of line. And now you've got this whole cascade of events. And you go, see, I knew it was going to be this way on a Sunday night. I mean, Sarah, you got 5 kids.
She doesn't have any more anxiety.
She
used all her anxiety.
Forget anxiety. She wants
done.
to help us run a set in her spare time. She goes, can I help you set up for a gig?
But that's because she has 5 kids. She has no more anxiety left.
Well, it's like what Nicole was saying is trying to get control over the situation because we can't always control everything that's going on outside of ourselves, but we can control how we're perceiving it. We can try to breathe through it, but...
Do you do that?
I definitely sit and breathe sometimes. Sometimes I have to.
Sometimes you don't breathe? Sometimes you don't breathe.
Sometimes that's the only productive thing that is happening, is just sitting and breathing.
And you've got on the gamut of everything from your kids to the adults in your family that you're really here advocating for. And Dr. Pill, you work mostly with adults.
Adults, yeah. I mean, essentially, I'll do some high school students up through 60, 65. I don't do a ton of geriatric work. There's a lot of terrific psychiatrists in the area that specialize in geriatric psychiatry. But I love what I do because I think I do see such a broad range of issues, and I do see that high school, college, up through
Well,
adulthood.
can I ask you a question?
Is this like a?
Well, you may not. You don't have to.
Are you curbsiding?
If he's asking to ask, I'm afraid what he's going to ask.
You don't have to answer if you don't want to.
Okay.
But let's say I have a 4 or 5-year-old. Now I used to coach 5-year-old kids in football and baseball, I think, yeah. And I knew right away that this child needed some guidance. I don't want to say help, more like guidance. A lot of things happening in the house, whole 9 yards. And so I went to the parents because they're the advocate and it's going to go whatever they say is going to happen anyway. One of the things that I got back from them was, I can't get him help because I don't want him growing up needing a shrink. I mean, this is what they were telling me. They were afraid that from that age, if they got help, that this was going to mature into an offset 18-year-old mess in college.
Right.
So I didn't know what to say. And I'm being very honest. What do I do? What do I say?
Helen?
I'd really love to speak to that. But before I do speak to that, I also want to make sure that we understand that while there are some mental illnesses for which your own sense of developing a sense of control can help, mental illnesses like diabetes or any other chronic illness, it is a neurological, genetic-based aberration or mutation. And so it's important that we, I think, bring out the fact that one of the things that would be very counterproductive is to make people feel somehow responsible for not taking the actions they should take in order to recover from mental illness.
Absolutely. And I was speaking to, a specific patient population, one that's definitely not on the more intensive end. But you're absolutely right, Helen. I mean, like diabetes, like high cholesterol, there's brain disease and there's neurotransmitter issues that patients don't have control over, and that's where medication is key, and it's a definitive, thing. There's such a range, and that's why I think this is such an important conversation, because, you have, those on the spectrum where they can do the breath work, they can do yoga, it's things that they can control, and others that it's simply out of their control, and that's where medication and a lot more structured help is a must.
But if your kid is a diabetic, and he's 5 years of age, I guarantee you they're going to rush him to the doctor. And I say, listen, your son can't play ball because he's a diabetic. To the doctor.
The doctor.
Yeah.
The doctor. The doctor's in.
What's wrong with that?
The doctor.
Huh. I guarantee you they're going to take him, right? There's not going to be a discussion about him growing up to become a full-fledged diabetic and having insulin, the whole 9 yards.
Right.
There's no discussion because it's viewed differently.
Well, it's outward, and I think that's where
so this is an
so much
inward
of the
case.
difficulty is that people can't see mental health sometimes. Some of it's obviously much more
But you
overt.
can.
But you can.
You can.
You can.
We just don't want to talk about it.
That's
Right.
right. I think, and that's a very good thing. I think as a society we're increasingly accepting of at least the less dramatic forms of mental illness like depression and anxiety,
Right.
where we as a society start placing that stigma, which is what you're talking about around mental illness, are on the types of behavior that seem to us to be, that we can't understand, that are nonsensical or
And they're
that,
scary. I think
and
it's
that are
scary. Absolutely.
And so we rather than really explore that and think of that within the realm of an illness, we label it with all kinds of stigma and
Now,
so forth.
which takes me to my next point.
Yeah.
Because what happens is that now you have the label, and now you're going to start putting people in boxes. So all of a sudden, we ain't going to play with this kid because he's labeled. We're not going to hang out over there because he's labeled. I want to stay away from him because he's labeled. I don't like her. She's going to have problems. She this, she's that. Don't hang out telling
But
your
even
kids.
if it's not the labeling, it's the actions people see. They pass judgment.
The perception.
And then it's losing friends, or it's hanging out with kids that you maybe shouldn't be hanging out with, and then you start hanging out with other people, and then it becomes an adult. You either become isolated, or you get involved with things you shouldn't get involved with, and becomes an isolating behavior. And you don't know what we're talking. What comes first, the chicken or the egg? What comes first, the behavior or the isolation? Does the isolation lead to the next behavior? Does it lead to the physical ailments? You can't piece it out. I'm sorry. That's why I get so passionate. That's why you really need to seek professional help, because as a parent, you can't do it on your own for a child, and as an adult, you can't do it for yourself, because it's just easier to pull the blankets over your head and not get out of bed.
But you know what happens when you put your head in the sand?
Yeah.
Other things sticks up.
But sometime, and this to the point for NAMI, and you're looking for housing. And Helen is an attorney, and she works with civil rights for those with mental illnesses and housing options. And it just is so big and enormous on what you're doing for NAMI. And I know that goes to what Sarah's trying to do, is really finding appropriate housing, because you know what? It's not okay to crawl into bed and pull the blankets over your head every day and not function, because it's not going to serve you, and everyone deserves help.
Yeah, I think the single biggest challenge we have in Florida is to encourage the people who provide mental health services, that would be the clinics, the hospitals, and so forth, to think of housing, particularly long-term supportive housing, as part of a good mental health system. Right now, our clinicians see their role appropriately as treating typically a crisis situation, and that certainly often needs to happen. But without a sustained and supported living environment, the likelihood of relapse of a person leaving that situation and becoming homeless, not having access to medication, not having access to support groups, which are incredibly important for people with serious, or really with all kinds of mental illness, is to have that support structure, their peers, and also people, their mentors, people trained to support them in their recovery. That whole continuum of services need to be in place. So housing is definitely the first part of that, because without housing, you really can't do anything, right? Without housing, you're homeless. And once you're homeless,
there's literally no foundation.
There's no foundation at all.
Well, when Vivian was here, we were talking, because of all of her experience with Chrysalis, she said, have you reached out to the ALF Foundation? And I don't know if you have, but if you haven't, she said to connect you with her, and she knows someone who's overseeing the political side of, I guess, the ALFs, to help you to see if that would be an option, because I know you're not looking for, ultimately you are, but right now you're good with a closed unit someplace within a facility. You don't need to recreate the wheel quite yet. You're ready to be a spoke on the wheel and keep growing with it for now.
Absolutely, and what Helen and Nicole are saying is so true. Without housing, there's no foundation. So are there more ideal forms of housing that we could think of? Absolutely, but you need a place to live. We don't say, hey, let's just stay outside until we can come up with the ideal place for us. You don't, because you need a place now. And that's where I am for my loved one living with severe and persistent mental illness, is that I'd love a solution right now, and that's exactly what we're looking at, something within an existing facility.
Well, then, let's just put it on the table. So we're looking for a facility that does something. What are some of the reasons that people won't or do not want to come forward and talk about it? Is it staffing it? I heard rumors about that. How do you staff it? If I'm a vet going in there, do I get looked at differently than if I'm mom? Okay, if I'm mom or dad, and he has a history of violent behavior, people don't want to work with that whole thing. I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff.
Well, then we're talking about the liability, but as you say, the bottom line is we need a solution. And there has to be a solution. We sit here every day with hope and kindness and say there must be a solution. There must be a solution.
How do we meet it at least halfway?
So one of the things that we're thinking about is, it turns out that in Palm Beach County there is zoning for refurbished containers to create villages of people who are living with mental illness, who can live in shipping containers, refurbished, very inexpensively. And here's the critical part. It's not just the need to have a safe and healthy place to live. It is the formation of community around that, which is incredibly important for all the reasons I said earlier, because it provides the support for recovery, it provides the comfort of peers who are experiencing the same problems. It also creates a critical mass of people who can get services and bring some weight to bear on the people who are making mental health decisions in the state.
Oh, Palm Beach County is zoned for this
Believe it or not.
type of neighborhood.
Have you ever seen that?
Yes.
I've seen it in South America.
Yes, there's one, we're going to be, the NAMI housing group is going to be visiting a container neighborhood in West Palm Beach, just next week.
I've seen that before. They put windows and everything in this thing. And they make it so you can
And
live
this
in
is for those who have mental illness?
One of the most important things that we've started to learn, and I'm sure others have learned before us, is when you're thinking about building whole communities for people with disabilities, you have to be really clear about who the target audience is, right? Because that target audience is going to dictate the services there to support them. And so far, the NAMI membership is clustered more around, I think Sarah has mentioned this, more around moms and dads who are aging and caring for children who are actually in their 30s
Young
and
adults,
40s,
okay.
young adults, who will, unless there's adequate housing in this county, who will be homeless when their parents die. It's as simple as that. So we're looking at we're looking at a future generation of potentially homeless people unless we find ways to develop communities to support them.
All right, Freddie, we got to find a way. You got to do it.
You're so funny.
Really, I wave my wand and I say, and so it shall be. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and so it shall be. We need homes. It's no different than those children with special needs. When they age out and their parents get older, they need homes, and we have found that solution. So now we just take it to the next level. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Want to make your smartphone brilliant? One tap creates a virtual wine fine tuner. Another, a coffee refiner. A beauty cream and makeup enhancer.
Wow.
Look at your eye.
What a difference.
And with still just a tap, a strength and flexibility harmonizer.
Yeah, I definitely felt something different.
This is the Vitalizer. In the App Store on any smartphone, a simple download that will embed specific frequencies and vibrations into your phone's light photons and sound waves. Calibrations designed to affect taste,
The Vitalizer one is better than the other one, for sure.
hydration, absorption, feel silkier, and perhaps most incredibly, your strength, flexibility, and energy. Amazing.
Wow.
Crazy.
Well, salud. I'm loving it.
Go to www.vitalizerapp.com and make your smartphone brilliant.
In a perfectly imperfect world, you can eat the foods you love, lose weight, and be healthy. But what if I told you you can do just that? In fact, your diet should be perfectly imperfect by eating the foods you love and still achieving your health and wellness goals. I take the guesswork out of nutrition by giving you my simple and effective strategies so that you can live the healthy and happy life you will love using real food to get real results. Schedule your nutrition consultation today at 888-84-TAMI or visit my website, TammyFogarty.com. Don't delay, get healthy today. 888-84-TAMI.
Does your child learn best when they see and experience information? Is your child smarter than indicated by test results? 3D Learner is an integrated learning program that helps identify your child's strengths and challenges. 3D Learner's individualized program for academic and athletic success will significantly improve reading comprehension, test scores, and self-esteem. Contact 3D Learner today for more information. Call 561-361-7495 to unlock your child's true potential. Visit us at 3dlearner.com or call 561-361-7495. Add that extra wow factor to your home or office wastebaskets with designer liners. Designer liners will turn an everyday home item into the pinnacle of decor at an affordable price. Available in a variety of prints from polka dots, zigzags to paisley. Dare to dream bigger with custom designer liners for your charity fundraiser or a company logo. Reusable as basket decor liners or gift bags, and made in the USA. Designer liners will enhance any home or office. Get yours today at designerliners.com or wastebaskets.com. That's designerliners with an S.com. Welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe, where every day is a new adventure. If you'd like to join Don and Freddy S. at the cafe, give them a call at 888-565-1470 toll-free. Come on in or call to share a thought for the day and get all the information you need to help your business grow. That's 888-565-1470. Let's reopen the cafe doors. Now, back to Don and Freddy S.
Join Don and Freddy weekdays at 1 at the Brooklyn Cafe for all your fun.
And we are back on our Mental Health Awareness Monday. Let's not call it illness, it's awareness. At the Brooklyn Cafe TV, 95.3 FM, 1470 AM. You can find us live streaming on Facebook and Periscope at the Brooklyn Cafe TV. We have Sarah Finkelstein-Wolf with us. I think you're like our local mental health awareness correspondent. We need to send, you know what we need to do? We need to send her on the go. And every place she goes with her 5 children in tow, including their armor, I saw today in the car seat, you take them with you and you turn on your camera and you just start talking around town and bringing awareness around town. Like we had Mom Online used to do. When you go pick up your kid, you can call us and go, okay, I'm online and this is what we're doing today. We're bringing awareness to this type of mental health. And that's it, whether it being anxiety, someone who's got panic attacks, a kid who's afraid to do their homework, to an adult who doesn't want to go to school the next day or make a phone call. There's so many things that I know we bury our head in, everything. And then the spectrum is enormous, and it's what came first, but we really need to talk about the housing options. And it's no different than, remember the show, it used to be there was a child who had Down syndrome on the show. I can't remember the name of it. Corky was his name, and it was Patty LaPone, and I can't remember the name of the show, but it was about housing options, and you can live at home as a child, and as you age and your parents age, but at some point your parents will age out and you need placement. And it's no different with that type of special needs than we're dealing with those with mental health issues. They too need housing because sometimes you can't live at home because it's too much for a loved one to take care of. Or if a loved one can do it, when they get older, they no longer can. And this container neighborhood sounds phenomenal, but there has to be other alternatives. There has to be more than one neighborhood.
So for me, I like what you were saying about people being responsible for their children up until a certain point. We also have a situation where spouses are being responsible for their loved ones too. And so I had one parent taking care of the other for decades and not able to meet that person's needs. And to think of container villages is so amazing. I know it is really going to help so many people. And still there are people like my loved one who aren't necessarily going to be served by that idea and are going to need, like Nicole was saying, there's a spectrum, you know, people who can do the breath work and then people who really need the medication. People like my loved one who are going to need more of, you know, unfortunately an institutional setting. And so that's still my main focus, aside from starting the conversation and getting people talking about it. I really do need a solution for...
Where are we with legislation? Because I know Helen was telling me that she's helping really initiate some of the legislation that's coming down in Florida.
We will. We're not now. We're building a network.
We're initiating it.
That will enable us to do that. It's not easy to remedy the difficulty or the difficulty of mental health policy in Florida by a single piece of legislation. It's a very complex scenario. But to Sarah's point earlier, you know, all of this came about because in the 1970s we had a system of state mental hospitals and we closed them. And in a certain sense, we threw the baby out with the bathwater. Yes, those hospitals were terrible
Deplorable
places. Terrible places. It was in the era before medication. These were people who were critically ill and very difficult to care for.
Right.
So what we did is we took a 1,000% solution, just closed them all. It turns out, 40 years later, that was not probably the best thing to do, that there is a population of people like Sarah's loved one who needs to live in a controlled environment, but a humane environment, an environment in which they are treated like the human beings they are, the human beings with a particular kind of illness, and not thrown away, which is what the former model took. So we're in a time of transition. My guess, if I had to look out into the future, I'd love to hear what you have to say about this, is that with efforts like Sarah's, we will come to some form of institutional housing, but with a true sense of community ownership of that place. Right. Not the mental hospital way on the top of a mountain.
What I admire so much about Sarah is that she brings awareness to this.
Exactly.
With her passion and her 5 children, and Dad is always here, and he's her biggest advocate, that she brings such passion to this, and she brings the community together in awareness that we knew it existed, but never to the point of really needing this much attention. And it needs this much attention that we need to address it every Monday. And it's not just on Mondays, the conversation needs to continue. And I know Helen was going to ask Dr. Pearl about her thoughts on this.
You know, one thing I think, kind of starts, unfortunately, this cycle of patients, falling off the wagon, so to speak, and, not having initially, the foundation that you're talking about, the living facility. But, the medication compliance is so important, because what tends to happen is that a patient will feel, oh, I'm good, I'm great. They've been taking the medication, everything's good. Life is well, relationships are good with family and friends, and they say to themselves, you know what, I don't need to take my medication anymore, I'm doing great. And unfortunately, that is what starts the downfall. And everything starts, the snowball effect, exactly, everything starts to fall apart. And so what I really, like is the notion of a team approach, where there's a social worker involved, assigned to, each person. There's a physician, looking into not only the psychotropic or the psychiatric medications, but, does this patient have also, we tend to see a lot of what we call metabolic syndrome with a lot of these patients that have been on, say, an antipsychotic for many years, so they're going to have high blood pressure, they're going to have high glucose or diabetes, high cholesterol. And so all this stuff needs to be controlled, and I think the team approach is what can really get it done effectively.
And who can organize this team? And I was going to say that because I know so many times, even with physical illness, they're first to put you on an antidepressant. So before I even had my Hashimoto's diagnosed, which is clearly autoimmune thyroid, they were very quick to put me on an antidepressant. What did that do? It made me sleep. It made me gain weight. They put me on something for that. Before and it was Hashimoto's, and once I got that regulated, but they were so quick to put these other things that there are comorbidities of these medications. Absolutely. And I love that you have this holistic approach, because you know what? Maybe some breath work helps. Maybe, again, downloading the Vitalizer app and taking that 1 minute of sound and light frequency, even if you think it's wonky and it's funny, it makes you stop and think and regroup, and you're going to feel so much better. It's just taking that minute to yourself and then doing what your physician tells you to do. This is not in lieu of, but it's just another approach to stop. And as they say, smell the roses.
Yeah, but at least you have a beginning to a conversation. I know my doctors at FAU, they gave me a book that they're going towards a softer side, towards changing away from medicine is not the only answer. There are other things that happen. It's like that old saying, I'll never forget, people that went into the hospital went in to have a checkup. When they found out they had an illness, they died the next day. They got depressed and they died. I mean, it was ridiculous. Don't tell me I'm sick. You tell me I'm sick, I die. Don't tell me.
Don't die again.
Don't tell me.
You can't do that again.
Just don't tell me. I'd rather and I'm fine. I was great until you told me I was sick. All of a sudden now, cat's out of the bag.
You went to the hospital last year. They told you were sick, and then you're like, I'm sick. Thankfully you came out.
I got out, but I almost didn't make it.
But this is a conversation that we need to constantly keep addressing. And before we run out of time, I want to make sure we have Dr. Pearl's information out and NAMI's information out, and then we can get back to our conversation. Dr. Pearl, where can people find you?
Sure. Well, I'm located here in Boca Raton. I work at the Relationship Center of South Florida. I also have a website, Dr. Nicole Pearl, very simple, basic website. But yeah, you can look me up, and I practice right here in Central Boca. And
from teens to adults, not really children, but if someone has a question, you can, I'm sure, refer them.
Absolutely. I'm always happy to talk to anybody and help them, direct them if I can't be of direct help. I know a lot of people in the area, and I'm always happy to refer.
I think that is the hardest thing, and we talk about it every week, is finding the right physician or psychologist, psychiatrist for your child, because, as you say, we need to get to it. It's like early intervention.
Absolutely.
We need to get to it early before it becomes the teenage years, before it becomes the adult years, before it becomes the elderly years, and get to it early and find some alternatives, find some help.
Absolutely.
So contact Dr. Pearl. She can help you with that. And Helen? your gamut of everything you do at NAMI is just enormous.
Thank you. Yeah, NAMI stands for the National Alliance on Mental Illness. We are the nation's largest grassroots mental health advocacy and education network. And our offices in this county, Palm Beach County, or West Palm Beach. We provide programming to tell people, teach people what mental illness is and also what it's not. We have multiple support programs. So if you're a member, if you're a family member and a loved one in your family has a mental illness, we have meetings all over the county in various locations to allow you to be able to just talk with other folks who are going through the same thing you are.
I love to tell you what it is and what it is not. What is it is not?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
How can what is not? I can't even put it together in the right thought. But
what is not?
What is it to mean it is not for mental illness?
So for many people, they think mental illness is something that's just possesses a person, that cannot be treated. That is, there are certain people who think it's actually a demonic kind of possession, believe it or not, in this day and age.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's a very evidence-based. All of our programs are very evidence-based and very grounding.
You know, among Latinos, they believe all that is demonic.
And Sarah?
Among Latinos.
That's a conversation that will continue off air between the two of you. Sarah, we can find you.
BeWellAdvocacy.com.
Sarah is just the most amazing advocate.
I love her.
And if you have any help or tips with her for housing options, or anyone in our community, you have any comments or anything you want to bring forward for us on the awareness of mental health, please let us know. You can always find us on Facebook and leave Joe a message, 888-565-1470. Have a magical Monday, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place.
And hello to all our peeps. Alicia, Yvonne, it's a whole bunch of people.
Be kind to each other.
Don't be
Say
late
goodbye.
tomorrow.
Bye-bye. Goodbye.
Everglades Angels Dog Rescue is dedicated to saving dogs abandoned in the Everglades. The urgency of reaching out to the community for financial contributions and dog adoption have greatly increased. Join us on Sunday, February 18th from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. at Anthony's Cold Fire Pizza, 115 Northeast 6th Avenue in Delray Beach, for a Give Back Sunday. 20% of all dine-in and carry-out will be donated back by mention of this promo. For more information or to make a donation, contact Everglades Angels Dog Rescue at 800-511-DOGS or evergladesangelsdogrescue.org.
The Heart of Delray Gallery, located in the Delray Art Complex, is one of South Florida's top venues for art, culture, music, and private events. The Heart of Delray Gallery is a cutting-edge, 11,000-square-foot art exhibition showcasing local artists and artisans with the highest quality of talent and vision, highlighting South Florida's creative arts. Visit us at the Heart of Delray Gallery, 1440 North Federal Highway in Delray Beach. Come, take a tour, book your next private event or fundraiser, or join us for Art Walk the first Friday of every month from 6 to 11 p.m. For more information, give us a call at 561-278-0074. Well, that's about it for today, and even though the show is over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 1 p.m. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddy S. will bring you more goodwill next time. Although today's show was live, you can follow the cafe on Facebook at Brooklyn Cafe. To rewatch every minute of the show, call 866-224-5422 to talk with Dawn and Freddy S. after the closing, or to leave an order for fun for the next show. Have a meaningful day.